Tonight's plan might be a little bit of a crazy plan. Let's take a lighthearted trip into the cosmos and talk about star clusters. Yes, star clusters, not to be confused with candy clusters, though I'm sure both are delightful in their own way. This plan may be a little crazy. We will spend a little under 1 hour on 11 separate star clusters. One, the Pleiades, will be in mosaic mode, so the possibility is it won't finish imaging. The other 10 will be regular sized. All are in a good elevation in the sky, but with neighborhood obstacles, there's a possibility that we can't image them all. But we'll try and we'll cross our fingers. As we look at the results, let's get a quick education on why star clusters are so fascinating. At the very end, we'll talk about the plan and how it executed. A star cluster is like a family reunion, except instead of awkward hugs and questionable potato salad, it's a spectacular collection of stars that has been hanging out together for billions of years. Now, there are two main types of these cosmic gatherings: open clusters and globular clusters. Let's break them down. First, we have open clusters. These are the young, hip, and chaotic members of the galaxy. Imagine a group of teenagers going to a concert. They're loud, flashy, and a little disorganized, but they're having the time of their lives. Open clusters are made up of stars that are relatively young, just a few million to a few billion years old. In cosmic terms, that's basically infancy. These stars are born in the same stellar nursery and decided to stick together for a while, like besties in high school. Take the Pleiades, for example, also known as the Seven Sisters. It's an open cluster, so stunning even the ancients couldn't stop talking about it. This cluster is visible to the naked eye, and every time you see it, you're essentially looking at a stellar sorority, shining bright in the sky. But like most youthful friendships, open clusters tend to drift apart as the stars grow older and start adulting around the galaxy. Now let's shift gears to the globular clusters, the grandparents of the cosmos. These clusters are dense, ancient, and incredibly well organized. The cosmic equivalent of a retirement community where everyone has life figured out. Globular clusters are packed with hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of stars in a relatively small area. And when I say packed, I mean packed. If you were living in a globular cluster, the night sky would be so full of stars you'd never see a dark night ever again. Romantic stargazing? Overkill. These clusters are old. Some are nearly as old as the universe itself, around 13 billion years. They're like walking history books showing us what the universe looks like in its youth. A famous one is Messier 13, the Great Hercules Cluster. It's a glittering ball of stars about 22,000 light years away and holds more drama than a season of reality TV. What kind of drama, you ask? Well, the stars in globular clusters are all competing for space, which can lead to close encounters and even stellar collisions. Imagine living in a neighborhood where your neighbor's driveway is practically in your living room. Well, that's globular cluster life for you. Why should we care? Well, now you might be thinking, why should I care about star clusters? They're millions of light years away and I have bills to pay. Fair point, but here's the thing. Studying star clusters helps us understand our cosmic history. They tell us about the conditions of star formation, the dynamics of gravity, and even the future of our own galaxy. And let's not forget, they're beautiful. Whether you're gazing at the Pleiades through binoculars or admiring a Hubble image of a globular cluster, they remind us of the universe in full wonders far beyond our imagination. Before we wrap up, let me hit you with some fun facts. First, star clusters are like family portraits. All the stars in the cluster were born at the same time, from the same cloud of gas and dust. They're basically cosmic siblings. Two, the Pleiades has inspired myths and stories worldwide. The Greeks saw seven sisters, while the Japanese call it Subaru. Yes, like the car logo. If you look at the car logo, you'll see stars on it. That is a nod to the Pleiades. And third, globular clusters are survivors. They orbit the Milky Way's core like bees around a hive, and some have seen entire galaxies collide without breaking a sweat. So, whether it's the youthful chaos of open clusters or the quiet dignity of globular clusters, star clusters remind us that the universe is a vibrant, interconnected place. They're a cosmic celebration of family, survival, and beauty, all wrapped up in one glittering package. What do you think about this night's plan using the Seestar S50 or S30? Did you learn something you didn't previously know about star clusters and perhaps spark an interest in imaging some for yourself? Share your thoughts below. So, a summary of the plan. I scheduled 11 objects to image, and the very first one could never find it. It was behind a house or something. It never could find it. So, it imaged 10 of the 11. We did have a little bit of, we already knew going into it that the mosaic mode for the Pleiades, with only an hour of exposure time, that's not stacking time, it's the time we devoted to it, would not finish the mosaic, and it did not. The pictures that you see in the video were cropped so that they would fit in the screen, but the mosaic mode did not complete. And so that's really the only issues that we ran into. It finished the whole plan without incident, other than that very first one that did not image at all. There was one image that we got back, and we found an interesting object in the bottom of that picture, and I want to try and identify it. And so that's what we're going to do, is try and identify this object that probably has a name or a number, but it didn't in the sky map in the Seestar app. I turned on the object identifier and it did not identify it. So I'm going to have to do some research and see what that is. Here I'll enlarge that image so you can see what we're talking about. It looks pretty interesting. It kind of looks like that fireworks nebula, but it's not in the same place in the sky. So it's not that one. I need to try and identify this one. Any help out there? I have submitted an inquiry with NASA scientists to see if we can identify this or decide if it's a new object that needs a name. I'll keep you posted if I hear anything back.